again, talking about the finer specs of Warhorse 427. This time we're going to have a bit of a chat about the engine bay fabrication. So to start with, we did a normal steering conversion. In the process of doing the steering conversion, we completely remanufactured the whole lower firewall section, and in doing that we did it in such a way so it mimicked the original shape but took all the humps and bumps etc. out of it and made it look like one factory style of single pressing. We think we succeeded in doing that, and it almost looks like we haven't touched it. And then off there we incorporated a internal roll cage, which we'll cover further with the interior. But off the roll cage we have two bars that come across behind the dashboard that pick up the pedal cluster as well as the steering column, so as you don't get too much flex. And off that we have some 10mm moly plate that now our engine bay braces bolt straight through, so it goes through the firewall and into that plate, so you're not relying on the normal export brace that pinch bolts through the panel sheet. It actually is utilising the strength of the roll cage. As those feed forward into the towers were reinforced with some 10mm moly plate as well as a notching piece for the strut conversion. And off those we've made our own bolt up tags to pick up all the arms etc. to tie the whole thing together. Now underneath the skirt we continued the roll cage all the way down and picked up the front chassis rail to stop the compression and tied all of that back into the tower. So by doing that it allowed us to get very good structural integrity to the whole approach to the suspension engineering of the car and stop the front panels from moving around. These cars are very weak in the skirt areas, and the engine bay skirts tend to open and close gaps etc. So we've built that all in underneath, but the style that we wanted to build the car to was to keep it very period. So we utilised the engine bracing as probably a backup, but more as a finishing aspect to it than it is necessarily only bracing the car. With the skirts, all of this front section through the forward section of the skirts can be completely remanufactured. All of this capping that goes over the top of the rudder support and radiator, that was built from scratch by Flat Sheet. We took the centre section out of the old rudder support plenum, extended sections off the front to pick up the grille opening and to tidy that area up a lot better than what the factory item did. This return section underneath here is all been hand formed out of steel, and we've tied all that together so it looks like it all came together with the factory items. Little legs off here were manufactured to go in behind to aid in the bonnet adjusters etc. Through the bonnet, or the hood as the Americans like to call it, when we did the outside hole fabrication for the hood scoop opening, we rolled the edge up, and so that way when the car's driven in the rain etc. that water won't rush over the top of the engine in the valley of the engine and potentially create problems with the distributors directly beneath it. So that's little tiny little traits that we like to use in areas like that make all the difference on both creating surface tension on the panel skin as well as something that it has an engineering aspect to it. With that we've used ARP studs that are made extra long, ARP studs with 12-point nuts on it, and the reason we made the studs extra long is so that when we assemble and disassemble, which happens regularly, it allows us to feed that in through the holes and locate it without damaging too much stuff, so it becomes an alignment tool as well. Pretty much that Ring Brothers hinges, we pretty much have covered the major aspects of the engine bay. There's a lot of fabrication went into remanufacturing all of those items to make them look like they all fit together like a factory would, and then all of that was then obviously coated in Glazerite Cream on Me, which is our own custom mix of cream. So I hope you enjoyed viewing it as much as we've enjoyed working on it, and we'll have some more updates soon on the finer points of Warhorse 427.